Today we are going to discuss what? Some important concepts of periodic classification. Okay. See, if you take now the reactivity of metals down the group and the reactivity of non-metals down the group. So the reactivity of first year group elements, suppose the reactivity of alkali metals from top to bottom, what happens? The reactivity increases or decreases? So generally, the metals, for the metals in a group from top to bottom, what happens? The reactivity increases. The reactivity of metals will increase, okay, down the group. But if you take the non-metals, what happens? The reactivity will decrease. Suppose I'm taking here group 1, group 1A, and group 7A. Group 7A. Now, group 1A elements, what are they? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, right? And here in this case now, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetine, and now recently what is discovered? Tennessine. Tennessine. So like this now here, if you take from top to bottom, in a group of the metals, what happens now here? The reactivity of metals, decreases or increases. It increases down the group, increases down down the group means from top to bottom in a group, down the group. Now tell me what makes this increase in reactivity? Why the reactivity of metals increases down the group? What is the reason? The reactivity of a metal is directly proportional to what? Electropositive character of metal. Tell me now, reactivity of metals. Reactivity of metals. Or you take here, we wrote here reactivity of metals. Okay, this reactivity is directly proportional to what now? Directly proportional to what? Electropositive character. Electropositive character. The reactivity is directly proportional to electropositive character. So more electropositive character indicates what? More reactivity. More electropositive character, more reactivity. Is that clear? So like this here, the reactivity and electropositive character both are directly proportional. Okay. Next, this reactivity is also, it is inversely proportional to what now here? Ionization energy. Ionization energy of the metal. So if you take now lithium to cesium, suppose any of francium radioactive removed. Okay, cesium to lithium to cesium, if you take, the size of cesium is larger. When size is larger, what happens? Ionization energy will be lesser. When ionization energy is lesser, what happens? The reactivity will be greater. Now, a cesium has what now here? Larger atomic size. Larger atomic size indicates what? Greater electropositive character. Okay. And next one, when electropositive character is greater, more reactive. Like this, what now here from top to bottom in a group of metals, what happens? Size increases and electropositive character increases. When atomic size increases, what happens now here? IE, ionization energy value, decreases, right? Whenever size increases, what happens? Ionization energy decreases. So as ionization is decreasing, reactivity increases. In case of what now? Groups. Okay, in case of metals, reactivity of metals in solid state, we can say reactivity of metals in solid state increases down the group. The reason is what now here? Smaller the IE values, greater will be the reactivity. Is that clear now? So it is about the reactivity of the metals. And next, the reactivity of non-metals. Before discussing reactivity of non-metals, we'll discuss one important exception here. For the metals, we have taken what now from top to bottom in a group. What happens? The reactivity will increase, we said now. But in case of some case, that means in case of some metals like what now? Here, silver and gold. Silver and what? gold. Next one, what now? Cadmium and mercury. Cadmium, mercury. Cadmium and mercury. And then what now? Tin and lead. Tin and lead. Now this silver group is what now here? Group 11. And it is cadmium or group 12. And this tin is what now? Group 14. If you take groups now here, what are these here? IUPAC groups. So group 11 elements, group 12 elements, group 14 elements if you take. Now silver and gold, silver and gold it is. So silver, gold, then cadmium, mercury, tin, lead. In this case now, from top to bottom here, silver to gold, what happens? Size will increase now. Silver to gold, what happens? The size will increase. So when size of silver is less, what should be greater here? Ionization energy should be greater. But what happens is that this gold has higher ionization energy. Gold has what now? Higher ionization energy. Whenever ionization energy is greater, what happens? Reactivity will be lesser. Reactivity will be lesser. Now for all these here, for all these three elements, okay, though size is larger, though size is larger, slightly larger here, not very much difference here. So this much difference won't be there actually. So nearly same size will be there, nearly same size, but slightly this bottom element will be having somewhat more size than what this element. Gold has slightly greater size, larger size than what? Silver, and so on. Now here these three elements, silver, mercury and lead, these three elements have slightly greater size, larger size. And here, but when size is greater here, generally IP should be lesser, no? But exceptionally here, IE is greater. IE is greater. Though size is larger for these elements, for these metals, the ionization energy is slightly greater. When ionization energy is greater, what happens now? The reactivity will be lesser here. Reactivity of what? Gold, mercury and lead, okay, is lesser than what? Reactivity is lesser than what? The remaining elements, silver, cadmium and tin respectively. Why gold has less reactivity than silver? Because gold has what? Slightly greater what? Ionization energy. When ionization energy is slightly greater, what happens? The reactivity will become lesser, because the reactivity of metal and ionization energy is inversely proportional. These two are. That's why what happens now here? The reactivity of these three metals will be slightly lesser than what? The same elements of the group which are present above them. Means above the gold, what is the silver is there? Above the mercury, what is there? Cadmium is there. Above the, just above this lead, what is the? Tin is there. Is that clear? So this is due to what now here? Lanthanoid contraction. These all things what now here? Why ionization energy is larger here? The larger ionization energy is due to what now? Due to lanthanoid contraction. Lanthanoid contraction. So due to lanthanoid contraction, the ionization energy of gold is greater than silver. Mercury is greater than cadmium. Lead is greater than slightly tin. Because of greater ionization energy values, the reactivities of these metals will be slightly lesser. Is that clear, ma? So this exceptional case you have to remember. It is what now here? Exception. Exception to this point. What is the general point here for the metals? For the metals, reactivity generally increases from top to bottom in a group. So this point we have to keep in mind. Let's take the screenshot of this one. Take the screenshot of this. Now, one more thing what we have to remember is that generally, now which is more metallic slightly here? Silver is more metallic, gold is more metallic. Which one can lose electron easily here? Silver can lose electron easily. Silver can lose electron somewhat easily than what? Gold. Why? The silver has less ionization energy, gold has greater ionization energy. When ionization energy is less for the silver, silver is more reactive than what? gold. That means silver is more metallic than gold. When silver is more metallic, reducing power of silver will be greater. Reducing power of silver will be greater. So now silver has greater reducing power. More metallic meaning what? Greater reducing power. Is the concept clear? And now next page. Now if you take now the same concept, what we discussed now, silver and gold. Same group. Which group they belong to? Group 11. Okay. Or Roman number 1B. IUPAC group number 11 and Roman number what? 1B. Right? Now here silver and gold. Is that clear? Now in this case, what happens is that now silver is what now? More metallic. More metallic than what? Gold. Okay. Then next point, what we have to remember, one point is this one. Now, second point is that the reducing power of this silver and gold, if you take, the reducing power of gold is less than that of silver. Okay. Now that means what now? Gold is less means what now? Silver has more reducing power. More metallic meaning what ma? More reducing power. It has more reducing power than what? Gold. Than gold. Which one has more metallic properties? Silver. Than gold. Which one has more reducing power? Reducing power? Silver. Like this. So silver has more metallic nature and more reducing power. The reason is what now again here? Due to less ionization energy for silver. So silver has what now? Lesser ionization energy than what? Than gold. So these points we have to remember. This exceptional case is due to what now here? Lanthanoid contraction. Lanthanoid contraction. Is the concept clear? So that means lanthanoid contraction means what now? Among the lanthanoids. Among the lanthanoids. So cerium 50, H2, lutetium 71. So these all 14 elements are what? Lanthanoids. Here size will be for these ions actually. For these ions here, if you take what now here, cerium plus 3 to lutetium plus 3, the sizes will be decreasing continuously. The sizes will be decreasing. When sizes decrease, that is contraction or expansion, that is called contraction. So lanthanoids undergo contraction in size from left to right, means from cerium to lutetium. This is called lanthanoid contraction. Due to this lanthanoid contraction, what happens? The gold gets what now? More IP, more ionization energy than silver. The same reason we can say for these elements also. Which elements? Cadmium, mercury, tin, lead. Now, between cadmium, mercury, which one is more metallic? Cadmium is more metallic. Mercury is less metallic. And which one has more reducing power? Cadmium has more reducing power because of more metallic nature. Here also same thing. Tin has somewhat more metallic nature than what? Lead. The reason what again? Tin has what? More electropositive character, more metallic nature because of less ionization energy. Is the concept clear now? Yeah. So this reason we have to know. So this is called what now here? Lanthanoid contraction. Lanthanoid contraction. Is that clear? So this reason is important here. The fact is important and the reason is important here. Why that what here increase in the reactivity of the metals in the group we have to understand. Now if you take what now reactivity of non-metals. Reactivity of what now? Non-metals. Now which group we have taken? Group 17. Group 17 means what? Roman number 78. Now here what are the elements? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, now here size will be increasing. Size increases. When size increases, what happens? Which is more electronegative here? The fluorine is what? More electronegative. More electronegative. So more electronegative means what now? More reactive. More reactive. Is that clear? And more electronegative character meaning what? Easily, the fluorine easily gains what? Electrons. Easily gains electrons to form what? To form F minus ion, fluoride ion. Is that clear? So it forms what now here? F minus ion, right now. So here in this case, now what we have to understand, when easily gaining electron, that means what now? Easily undergoes reduction, right? Easily undergoes what now here? Reduction. Easily undergoes reduction. Gaining of electrons is called what now? Reduction. Na? So easily undergoing reduction. Easily undergoing reduction means what now? Powerful or strong oxidizing agent, or powerful oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means what? Oxidant. Powerful oxidant. Fluorine is what now? Powerful oxidizing agent because it will itself undergo what? Reduction. It itself undergoes for reduction, but it will oxidize others. The fluorine oxidizes others. That's why oxidizing power is greater. Oxidizing power is greater. So fluorine has what now here? The fluorine gets what now? More oxidizing power. So fluorine has what now? More oxidizing power. Oxidizing power means what? Oxidizes others. Oxidizes others. Okay, but it itself undergoes what now here? Reduction. Is that concept clear now? So it itself gains electrons and undergoes reduction, but it will oxidize others. So powerful oxidizing agent is what now here? Fluorine. So it is what now? Fluorine is what now? More reactive. And if you take iodine now, iodine reverse. Iodine has least electronegativity, and iodine has less reactivity, least reactivity, and iodine cannot easily gain electron to form iodide ion, and iodine cannot easily undergo reduction, and it cannot be powerful oxidizing agent. So it is weak oxidizing agent when you compare with what? Fluorine. So from top to bottom in the group of non-metals, from top to bottom in the group of non-metals, the reactivity is decreasing here. The reactivity decreases in a group of non-metals. Is the concept clear now? So this is what now important concept to understand here. Okay. So fluorine has what now here? More oxidation potential or reduction potential. It can undergo reduction or it can undergo oxidation. It can undergo reduction easily. It is able to undergo what? Reduction. So it has what? More reduction potential. Oxidizing nature is greater. It will oxidize others. But it itself undergoing reduction easily. Na? So it has which power? Reduction power. Reduction power is greater. Which one has more reduction power? The reducing power of fluorine is what now here? Greater, because it easily undergoes reduction. Okay. So this way we have to understand what now here concept of this one. Okay, we have SOP and SRP. I told na. SOP means standard oxidation potential. SRP means what? Standard reduction potential. Okay, so which will undergo reduction easily, whichever undergo reduction easily will have what? Greater SRP value. Now yes, fluorine is non-metal, easily undergoes reduction. So it has which value greater? SRP value greater. So fluorine has what now here? Greater SRP value. Greater SRP means what now? Standard reduction potential. SRP stands for what now? Standard reduction potential. The standard reduction potential value will be greater for fluorine because it is most non-metallic. Most non-metallic element has most electronegativity and most reactive non-metal. Most reactive non-metal and most easily undergoes what? A reduction. Most easily gains what? Electron. That means most easily undergoes reduction. Therefore, strongest oxidizing agent. Strongest oxidizing agent. Is the concept clear now? So in a group of non-metals from top to bottom, reactivity decreases. Is that clear now? Let's take the screenshot. Yeah. Now here. Now what we have tried in a group of non-metals, in a group of non-metals, what we have to understand? Reactivity decreases or increases? Decreases. The reason what now here? The reason is what? The reactivity of a non-metal. The reactivity of a non-metal. a non-metal is directly proportional or inversely proportional to electronegativity. Reactivity of non-metal is directly proportional to electronegativity. If electronegativity of the element is greater, reactivity of the non-metal is greater. So in a group of non-metals from top to bottom, electronegativity decreases. When electronegativity decreases, reactivity of non-metals also will decrease. So this reason is important here. The reason what now here? Reason is that electronegativity of the non-metals decreases from top to bottom. Therefore, reactivity of non-metals also decreases. Is the concept clear? So this is our reactivity of metals in a group and reactivity of non-metals in a group. It is one of the important areas where we confuse. Okay. Next one is that acidic nature of oxides and acidic nature of hydrides. Acidic nature of, so in a group we take first. In a group from top to bottom. From top to bottom. In a group from top to bottom, what we have to understand, acidic nature. What is that? Acidic nature of what? Oxides and acidic nature of hydrides. Tell me now first about acidic nature. Acidic nature of oxides. Okay, then hydroxides, or otherwise we take acids, oxyacids. Oxyacids. Decreases or increases? Acidic nature of oxides generally decreases as non-metallic character of elements decreases. From top to bottom, what happens here? Acidic nature of oxides and oxyacids decreases. Why it decreases? Tell me. The reason is what now? Non-metallic nature decreases. So now acidic nature is directly proportional to what? Acidic nature is directly proportional to what? Non-metallic nature. So acidic nature directly proportional to non-metallic nature. Non-metallic nature. As non-metallic nature decreases, in a group, acidic nature also decreases. In case of what? In case of what? Oxides and oxyacids. Is that clear now? In a group from top to bottom. This is one of the important. Next one. Now what we have to understand is that acidic nature of hydrides. Acidic nature of hydrides. Acidic nature of hydrides. Okay. This acidic nature of hydrides increases down the group. Increases down the group. So tell me now why it increases down the group, the acidic nature of hydrides. Suppose you take here HF and HI. HF and HI. Here how to write this one? H bond F. Here H bond I. Which one has more bond length? Here this HI has more bond length. So it has more bond length. When bond length is greater, what happens now? Less bond energy now. Less bond energy. When bond energy is lesser, easily it will break down. Bond dissociation energy is lesser here. When bond dissociation energy lesser, easily it will produce what now? H plus. Easily it will produce what? H plus. If hydride is ready to produce H plus, its acidic nature is greater. Yeah, which will produce H plus ion easily. HF or HI? HI molecule can produce H plus easily. Why it is able to produce H plus easily? Because the bond length of HI is greater. Therefore, its bond dissociation energy is lesser. When bond dissociation energy is lesser, easily it gets dissociated to produce what now? H plus ion. That's why it is what? Stronger acid. HI is stronger acid than what? HF, HCl, HBr. Than HF, HCl, HBr, the HI is stronger acid. The reason is what? Less bond energy and greater bond length. So now here acidic nature is more for HI but its bond dissociation energy is lesser. That means what now? Acidic nature of hydrides is inversely proportional to what? Is inversely proportional to acidic nature. Inversely proportional to what now? Acidic nature. Is that clear? So this acidic nature of hydrides is inversely proportional to what? Bond energy. When bond energy is less, acidic nature will be greater. So in a group from top to bottom, what is happening? The acidic nature of hydrides increasing, but the acidic nature of oxides will decrease. Acidic nature of oxides will decrease. Suppose if you take now here, chlorine oxide and bromine oxide. Suppose Cl2O, Br2O. Okay, Cl2O and Br2O. Which will be more acidic here? Oxide of chlorine is more acidic than what? Bromine. The reason what again here? The reason is that okay, the non-metallic nature of chlorine is greater than bromine. More non-metallic nature indicates what? More non-metallic nature indicates more acidic strength. So acidic nature of oxide, acidic nature of oxide, acidic nature of oxide is directly proportional to what now? Non-metallic nature. In a group from top to bottom, non-metallic nature decreases. Therefore, acidic nature of oxides also will decrease. Next, acidic nature of hydroxides, hydrides. Acidic nature of hydrides is inversely proportional to bond energy, but directly proportional to bond length. More bond length indicates what? More acidic strength. So this reasoning is important for understanding the concept well. Take the screenshot of this one. Okay. Now, next important area what we have to understand is that so generally we know that oxidizing power is more for non-metals, reducing power is more for metals. Metals have more reducing power, non-metals have more oxidizing power. Generally, oxidizing power of non-metals, what happens? Oxidizing nature of oxidizing power of non-metals will decrease down the group. Na? Generally, what happens? Oxidizing. Generally, non-metals. Non-metals are what? Oxidizing agents. Non-metals are oxidizing agents. Okay, they have more oxidizing power. Their oxidizing agent means they undergo what? Reduction. Okay, but here the oxidizing power, the non-metal generally oxidizing power, will be more. But in which case now here the non-metals will be acting as reducing agents. Exception is what now here? Exception is that carbon, hydrogen, and phosphorus are non-metals. They are what now? Non-metals. But they act as what? But they act as reducing agents. They act as what now? Reducing agents. They act as what now? Reducing agents. Okay, this exceptional case you have to remember. Generally, almost all the non-metals are oxidizing agents. Oxidizing agents means what? They undergo reduction. They undergo what, ma? Reduction. As they undergo reduction, they act as what? Oxidizing agents. But here, carbon, hydrogen, phosphorus are the non-metals. Though they are non-metals, they undergo what? They undergo what? Oxidation. They undergo oxidation. Reducing agent meaning what? They undergo oxidation. Is the concept clear? So this area we have to understand concept. So take the screenshot of this one. Next, lattice energy of metals and lattice energy of non-metals. Lattice energy of metals and lattice energy of non-metals. The first one you take here. Lattice energy of metals. Lattice energy of what? Metals. So lattice energy of metals generally in a group from top to bottom decreases or increases. The lattice energy generally decreases down the group. Lattice energy of the metals decreases down the group. Okay, down the group, lattice energy of the metals generally decreases, but the lattice energy of the non-metals in the group from top to bottom increases. That point we have to remember. But what we have to remember here, lattice energy of non-metals generally increases from top to bottom. Increases from what? From top to bottom in a from top to bottom in a group. What happens here? The IPM means the lattice enthalpy of the non-metals will increase. For non-metals, the lattice enthalpy increases, whereas the lattice enthalpy of metals will decrease down the group here. Okay. Now, why lattice enthalpy of metals will decrease down the group here? That is due to what now here? Atomic radius here. From top to bottom in a group, what happens now? Atomic radius increases now for metals. When atomic radius increases, ionization energy will decrease. Okay. So, as first what you have to remember here, lattice enthalpy is inversely proportional to what now? Atomic radius. If you take lithium and cesium, so between lithium and cesium, which will have small size lithium, when radius of lithium is smaller here, automatically lattice enthalpy will be greater here. So lattice enthalpy of metals will be directly or inversely proportional to atomic radius. It is inversely proportional to atomic radius we have taken. And now lattice enthalpy of non-metals from top to bottom, what is happening? It is increasing. Okay, from top to bottom in a group. The reason what now here? The reason is what? From top to bottom in a group, what happens now? The solids now here, these all are solids here. When the solids are taken, non-metal solids are taken, for them what is happening here? The attractive forces will be increasing. Attractive forces will be increasing here. So if you take non-metals from top to bottom in a group of non-metals, what is happening here? The solid attractions will be greater. The solid particle attractions will be increasing. When solid attractive force is increasing, what happens now here? The lattice enthalpy increases. General lattice enthalpy means what? To break the ionic crystal or any solid crystal. To break the solid crystal into its constituent particles, how much energy to be supplied is called what? Lattice enthalpy. The energy required to break the solid crystal into its constituent particles is called lattice enthalpy. So non-metal solids are what now generally? They are molecular solids. They are what now? Molecular solids. So non-metal solids. Non-metal solids are what generally? Molecular solids. Molecular solids. When they are molecular solids, what happens now here? From top to bottom in the group of non-metals, the van der Waals attractions will be increasing between the particle. When van der Waals attraction increases, what happens now? The lattice enthalpy increases. So lattice enthalpy of non-metals in the group from top to bottom increases, but lattice enthalpy of metals decreases down the group. Here reason what we have to take, atomic radius we have to show. Here reason what we have to say, the non-metal solids are molecular solids, and from top to bottom in the group, between the solid particle, attractive forces increase because of increase in the mass, and the lattice enthalpy increases. This reasoning is important here. Is that clear? Next, take the screenshot of this one. Next, melting and boiling points of metals generally decreases down the group. So melting point and boiling point. Melting point and boiling point of what? Metals. Melting and boiling point of metals generally what decreases down the group? Decreases down the group. Down the group indicates what? From top to bottom in a group, the melting and boiling points will be decreasing. But the melting and boiling points of non-metals will increase. But what we have to remember is another case for now here. MP and melting point and boiling point. Melting and boiling